I think it is time to admit that the Denver Nuggets might actually be finished. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to BoxInOne, a basketball podcast and content creation platform created by roischand and Joachim, myself talking right now. For those who do not know, it has been an eventful week for the Denver Nuggets. First, losing Peyton Watson essentially for a couple of picks, and now pivoting to sign DeMar DeRozan for a roughly $4 million deal this season. When we look at the Denver Nuggets starting lineup, now you have Jamal Murray, DeMar DeRozan, Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Jokic. The issue with that, though, is this is a team that is well out of the contention for being a top team in the Western Conference. Last season, when you had guys like Peyton Watson going off, and you had guys like Cam Johnson who were acquired after trading MPJ saying, look, these are the guys we're going to save for the playoffs. Watson wasn't playing in the playoffs because he was injured, and Cam Johnson did not do his part. This is a Denver Nuggets team that did not retool and get better after letting MPJ go. You did not get farther in the playoffs. You got eliminated earlier. Aaron Gordon has issues with staying healthy, and it's really just a question of whether or not the Denver Nuggets are going to be able to keep Nikola Jokic at this point. Again, last year when you needed Jamal Murray against the Minnesota Timberwolves in a Game 6 without Anthony Edwards or Ayo Dosunmu, Jamal Murray could not even give you 15 points in that closeout. He got outscored by Tim Hardaway Jr., only dropping 12 points. That is unacceptable for your second option. This was, funny enough, the only game Cam Johnson went off for 27 points and 53. But you got hunted by Terrence Shannon Jr. Mind you, Terrence Shannon is a guy who in the playoffs for Minnesota played extremely well, but you got 32-10 from Jaden McDaniels, 10, 13, and 8 plus 3 stocks from Rudy Gobert, 24 from Shannon Jr., 15 from Reed, who's not on the team anymore, 18 from Randall, who's not on the team anymore, 1 point from Highland, 3 points from Clark, 7 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal from Mike Conley. This was an extremely undermanned Minnesota Timberwolves team, and you couldn't even put up 100 points. Then you have Nikola Jokic, who, yes, MVP caliber offensive talent, one of the most skilled players we have ever seen, but he's a one-way player. This is a guy who was chicken food on the defensive end. I think at some point in the series, the Minnesota Timberwolves, I read a statistic, they shot 74% in the paint when Nikola Jokic was your main defensive anchor. Now you lose Jonas Valanciunas. Christian Braun getting 5 years, $125 million, and not doing anything, only 3 points on 25% from the floor in an elimination game, 1 of 4 from 3. What is this team truly doing? You have an Oklahoma City Thunder who has guys, younger guys they added on their bench. You still have Shea, you have J-Dub, you have Chet, you have a lot of good pieces. You have guys like Caruso, like McCain taking a leap this year in the regular season and the playoffs. You have the San Antonio Spurs who are only going to get better and have also added Tobias Harris. You have two of these teams, two of these Titans that are absolute warmongers. And last year, even in the regular season, the Denver Nuggets looked like they could compete with both of these teams, especially when you had young guys like Watson, like Strother, who hasn't really been getting minutes. And granted, he hasn't really been performing the best in those minutes outside of the playoffs last year, but still, you had those pieces. Tim Hardaway Jr. is gone now. Peyton Watson's a Cleveland Cavalier. We're going to look back at this Denver Nuggets team. They didn't take the right precautions in free agency. They didn't take the right moves in free agency, letting go of Michael Porter Jr. after a playoff series where he had a bad shoulder and still put up a 15-15 game against the Los Angeles Clippers, letting Russell Westbrook walk when he was that defensive guard you needed to be able to help out Jamal Murray, because Jamal Murray is not necessarily known as an exceptional defender. You have a perennial talent in Nikola Jokic, but you just have a bunch of guys on this team who aren't going to contribute to winning. When Aaron Gordon is out, who is going to step up for this team, right? Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, you've got DeMar DeRozan. Now he averaged 20 as a Sacramento King. I think DeRozan, especially still having a little bit of athleticism, can be a good off-ball player, getting his 16, 18 a night off middies, off screens, off cuts. He can definitely do that. But defensively, you have Jamal Murray and DeMar DeRozan. Cam Johnson is solid. Aaron Gordon can't stay healthy. Christian Braun was getting hunted. What do you really do against the top two teams in the Spurs and OKC? What do you do? You're competing in a Western Conference. When I look at teams like Portland and say, they're a move away from lapping the Nuggets. When I look at teams like the Lakers and say, with Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves and Kessler, you're probably more sound from top to bottom than the Denver Nuggets. We look at teams in this Western Conference that are going to make the Denver Nuggets look silly. You still have the Minnesota Timberwolves, and again, Nikola Jokic could not get past Rudy Gobert. You have the Phoenix Suns, who added guys like Miles Bridges, extended Dylan Brooks, and none of these are insane moves in terms of, oh my goodness, we're going to be a championship contender. But the Denver Nuggets are not a championship contender, so all of these teams can beat them. The Houston Rockets with Marcus Smart, that's a good addition in terms of a backcourt defender. They can beat the Denver Nuggets in a series. LaMelo and Anthony Edwards, just in terms of getting to the cup, are going to fry Nikola Jokic. This is not a basketball team that is equipped to be a top 3, top 4 team in the West, let alone beat the Eastern Conference. Denver beating Philly? No. Denver beating the Washington Wizards, the New York Knicks, the Detroit Pistons, the Cleveland Cavaliers with Peyton Watson, the Indiana Pacers, the Boston Celtics? Absolutely not. Are they beating the Orlando Magic? I don't know, because that's the tier the Denver Nuggets are in. You're a team that was really good at one point. I mean, look at it. 2021, we all said, all right, this is the future. You got Jokic, you got Murray, you got MPJ, then you get Aaron Gordon. This is a championship team. 2023, they finally do it. Maybe could have done something in 2022 had MPJ and Murray not both been hurt in those playoffs. You get it in 2023, really to start the decade after seeing what they did in the bubble. Everyone agreed, yeah, this Nuggets team is legit. You had a 4-year run of being one of the most feared teams in the Western Conference. 2024, you blow a 20-point lead at home in a Game 7, still the largest blown lead in a Game 7 at home in NBA history. That was the beginning of the end. The Rudy Gobert dagger was the beginning of the end, because from there, 2025, you take the defending champs to 7, and instead of saying, let's retain our roster and from there just get a couple of other pieces, a couple more young guys, you say, nope, we're going to let some of these guys walk, run it back exactly the same, you get injured, and then you get blitzed by a Minnesota team without Ayo Dosunmu and without Anthony Edwards. And at this point, you keep losing pieces. The Valanciunas, Hardaway, Johnson retool, along with Bruce Brown, this past offseason was supposed to be the move that put Denver back in championship contention to beat OKC. You couldn't even get out the first round. You're a top 3 team, and you couldn't even get out of the first round. What are we doing? Like, the Nuggets have to ask themselves, what are they truly doing? You were more worried about getting off quick little one-liners to combat Jaden McDaniels, but he was right. Go at all of the weak defenders. This whole team is weak on defense. The Aaron Gordon is a great defender. He has one leg half of the time. Hope he's healthy. He probably will be, but again, playing on that grade 2 hamstring strain, it haunts him still. His body is not in the same shape it was pre-hamstring injury. This is why it took Harden a season and a half to really come back. Everyone thought he was washed. Then he's dropping 55 in LA. What happened? His hamstrings actually healed. The body takes a lot of time to recover from those injuries, especially when you are a guy that uses your body so much on offense and defense like Aaron Gordon. Again, this was a team that was supposed to be the next dynasty in 2023. Everybody, oh yeah, Denver's going to be in these finals multiple times. They have not gotten to the conference finals since 2023. That's completely fine. But you blow a lead in 24, you get smoked out on the road in 25, you can't even beat a team missing 2 of their best scorers in 2026. You lose your depth and youth in Peyton Watson. Michael Porter Jr. is a Brooklyn net. Tim Hardaway Jr. left. Jamal Murray got his all-star and then checked out in the playoffs. Nikola Jokic, he's a one-way player. Aaron Gordon can't stay healthy. Hey, we got Cam Johnson and DeMar DeRozan, though. That's our future. When we really look at the Denver Nuggets, they're finished. They're not finished in terms of, oh, this team sucks, but I would not be surprised in a few years Nikola Jokic is going somewhere else. With that being said, though, guys, that is going to do it for us today. Again, as always, if you enjoyed the content, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow all of these socials in the description down below, wherever you get your hoops content, whether it is X, TikTok threads, YouTube, Spotify, YouTube where you're watching this video. Follow us there. And again, for the last time, all of those are in the description. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we will see you all in the next one.